der 29 בנובמבר 1947.
Rabbi Arthur Schneier, a Holocaust survivor, has spent a lifetime working for interfaith tolerance. This life's work was not, he claims, a matter of choice.
When you're a survivor of a Holocaust, you live with a sense of responsibility to pay back on a daily basis for having survived. And I was not any better than the rest of my family that perished in Theresian and Auschwitz. So if God saw fit to save my life, then I have to serve Him, I have to serve the Jewish people, and I have to serve humanity. As it happened in 1964, the Soviet mission to the UN moved from Park Avenue right across the street from the synagogue. And I said to myself, you know, if God placed me in this position, I cannot remain silent. I have to do something about it. In those days, people were wondering, Soviet Jews, they're a bunch of communists, they forgot their Jewish identity. Some of my own rabbinic colleagues said, well, what are you wasting your time for? Okay? No, but I believe that having experienced persecution, oppression, that having been placed in this position, that I should do something about it. And so on December 17, 65, Bobby Kennedy, Mayor Wagner, 2,500 people, we dedicated a flag, which is still there to this day, Lishmoa and Kadasir, hear the cry of the oppressed Jews in the Soviet Union. To this day, that plaque is still there, the only plaque in the whole world. And that really started my struggle on behalf of religious freedom. Then the Appeal of Conscience Foundation was started, and we were broadening our base, not only on behalf of Jews, but on behalf of Catholics who were oppressed, and the Russian Orthodox, and Baptists, and Muslims, and that's brought me to Eastern Europe, every country. That's when I met Archbishop Wojtyła in Krakow for the first time.
Later to become the Pope.
Correct. Which started a very wonderful friendship for years. Then we extended our activities to wherever there were problems. I was involved in the whole issue of Northern Ireland, the conflict, or China. I met all the Chinese top leaders. Then President Clinton appointed me to head a delegation of 3 American religious leaders to meet with Jiang Zemin to discuss the whole issue of religious freedom. That was in 1998, and I spent 4 weeks in China.
Religious freedom on behalf of whom? Falun Gong and people like that, or?
No. This is the whole question of religious freedom was of concern of the United States foreign policy. It was very much part of it, because you could not have a trade agreement with China unless there was some kind of normalization.
Do you feel that this is a sort of a tikkun, so to speak, for your own experiences as a child? Because I'm sure you felt very much alone, forgotten by the world when you were in Budapest. Is that some sort of a tikkun that you're doing now?
Well, it's an interesting point you're making. I think that I believe that it's not only the concentration camp guard or Dr. Mengele who says right or left, but the people who are silent and do not take a position on behalf of injustice. Yes, I would say that I don't remain silent, whether it's in former Eastern Europe or Argentina, very much involved in terms of it disappeared. I was involved in also in El Salvador. All the good places, wherever, and not just, you see, I firmly believe that while I, of course, fight for the dignity and honor of the Jewish people, but it's also important to show one's compassion and concern for the suffering of non-Jews.
Of people.
Of people. Okay? And this is how you gain, I mean, the strength of the Appeal of Conscience Foundation. It's a coalition of top religious leaders and business leaders. So that when I speak to the Chinese leadership, I said, come on, don't you think it's about time that you have diplomatic relations with the Holy See, and that a new bishop should be appointed, and so forth. When I come to the Vatican, I am not there just coming and begging, for something. We work together. And there's no greater bonding. Interreligious dialogue, I've been involved in this for the last 45 years. Interreligious action that counts. Action.
So many wars have been fought on behalf of religion. So there's something basically tribal about religion, isn't there?
No, I disagree with that. I think that there's nothing wrong with religion. It's something wrong with those who misuse and abuse religion. Okay? You should know, religion is like fire. Okay? Fire can warm, can heat, but can also destroy. And by the way, this is also the challenge that we're facing today with the Muslim world. The point is that religion today, as far as Islam is concerned, has been hijacked by some of the radicals. Okay?
Would you go
and
meet
hijacked and also intimidated the masses and intimidated those moderates, who believe in live and let live.
Would you go and meet with, let's say, Osama bin Laden? What would you tell him?
No, absolutely not. I draw the line. I do draw the line.
Where?
We have those forces in the world today totalitarian, who do not accept what I call the principle of live and let live, coexistence. That's where you draw the line. Bin Laden does not want you to.
So you've done a lot of work for tolerance and for interfaith dialogue, and American diplomats are instructed by your teachings and so forth. Do you feel that you've made progress? Do you think the world today is more tolerant than when you started out?
Oh, we've come a long way. You'll find that human rights is on the agenda. Human rights is on the agenda. Also, you find that I could be going to inter-religious dialogue conferences and being invited to speak because it's fashionable. We face many, many challenges in this world. Nuclear proliferation, whatever, AIDS, SARS, whatever.
Environmental crisis.
Environmental, everything, okay. So you find that in the past, religious conflicts were part of the problem facing humanity. Now there's a realization on the part of responsible religious leaders to be part of the solution.